So today we are looking at the Edubuntu Linux distribution. The version is 24.04.1 version, which is LTS. So here is the boot menu. So let me quickly boot it in the live boot. And it's based on a Ubuntu, and also the desktop environment you get is the GNOME version. And also the booting process will take like 2 or 3 minutes. So I'm running it on the virtual machine, which is VMware, with 60 GB of virtual disk, 8 GB of RAM, and my CPU is i5 1240p. So basically the booting process will take 2 or 3 minutes. So I'm going to mention how much of time it's going to take. So here you can see Edubuntu. So the country of origin is Isle of Man of the Edubuntu. So Edubuntu is a partner project of Ubuntu. So I'm going to give you some information. So a distribution suitable for classroom use. So Edubuntu is basically for education Ubuntu or education Ubuntu. The aim is that an educator with a limited technological and skill will be able to set up a computer lab or establish an online learning environment in an hour or less, and then administrator that environment without having to become a full-fledged Linux geek. So that's some information of Edubuntu. So this is the point update which I already made of every Ubuntu and Ubuntu flavors, which is 24.04.1. So here is the Edubuntu video. So if you want some of the users, here is the video of Edubuntu 24.04.1. So I'm going to go through all the changes and all those things. So the desktop environment you get is the GNOME, and also it's available for Raspberry Pi also. So I already said the country of origin, and about the architecture you can see with the x86 64, and also ARM64 is also available in the architecture. So the booting process may take still more here. Basically it's going to take like 2-3 minutes, but I'm going to mention as soon as it's completed. But it's already having a mouse pointer here already. So it's just a blank screen here. It's going to take a few seconds and we should be seeing the GNOME desktop environment. So if you want to download the Edubuntu, you can download it. And also I already posted a Manjaro Linux video today, which was the latest version of 24.08. So that was the latest version of Manjaro Linux. If you want to check it out, you can check it out. So the ISO file was released today, so the video is already available or already posted in the YouTube. So if you want to check that out, you can check it out. So it's almost like 2.5 minutes. So we are still waiting for the desktop layout to load. So it's a GNOME desktop environment, so it's going to take more time here. So let's wait and see. So here you can see our screen is loaded. It took almost 3 minutes 15 seconds. And I'm running it on the virtual machine, which I already mentioned in the beginning. So that's the reason it took that much of time. So the user experience will be way better on the bare metal, and about the virtual machines there will be some hiccups here and there. And in the VMware there is some issue with the Ubuntu and Ubuntu flavors. Not every Ubuntu flavors, but there are some Ubuntu and Ubuntu flavors which has issues in the VMware. That's the reason we need to try it in the VirtualBox. So I'm running it on the VMware now. So if we have any issues, then I'm going to go with the VirtualBox. So here is our welcome screen. So you can change your language, and also you get the new installer for the Edubuntu instead of old installer. So choose your language here, click next. Here are the accessibility in Edubuntu. Here is the seeing options. Here is the hearing options, and the typing, pointing and clicking. Here is the zoom. So I'm just going to keep everything as default as possible to see how it performs. So select your keyboard layout. You can choose your keyboard layout and choose your keyboard variant. If you want, you can test it by typing, and also you can click on detect if you want. Click next. Here it asks for the internet connection. So if you want to connect, you can go with the used wire connection. If you have Wi-Fi, go with the Wi-Fi. If you don't want to connect, you can just click on do not connect to the internet. So just click on next. Here what do you want to do with Edubuntu? If you want to install, you can install, and if you want to try it in the live boot, you can try it. So it's always a good option in the Linux is always try it in the live boot first. If you're satisfied, then go with the installation. So even if you have any bugs, you can find out before installing. So that will be a helpful tool here. So I'm going to just click on try Edubuntu, and other options of the installation. I'm going to go through all those things later. So let's first close everything. So here is our desktop environment. So it's pretty much same from a lot of years, so there is nothing changed here. Let's change the display settings, and I'm going to show you how much of system resources it's going to consume. So basically it's a GNOME desktop environment, so you already know how it's going to consume, and we already have an issue with the VMware. So I'm going to run it in the VirtualBox now. So I already mentioned that there will be some issues in the VMware. Even if you have a good hardware specs, you should be facing these issues. So I'm going to pause recording, and I'm going to continue with the VirtualBox. So here I am with the VirtualBox right now. So I'm going to change the display settings first. So I already mentioned that VMware has some issues, so I'm running it on the VirtualBox now. So let's change the display settings. As you can see, even the display settings is taking a bit of time here. So in the bare metal it should be performing a bit better, and also it's going to consume less resources also. So I'm going to click on apply. My monitor is 1920 x 1080, and you also have the fractional scaling if you want. So I'm going to show you the system details, about, and here is the information. So let me open the system monitor in the right side corner. So you get a bunch of applications pre-installed, so you should be getting every important things of the education applications already right here. So here is the second space, or the second workspace. Let me open the system monitor. Here is our system monitor. So the version right now we are using is 24.04.1 LTS. Let's see how much of resource it's consuming. So these are all the processes running right now. So I didn't touch anything other than display settings. So here is my CPU. Just run it like a minute or 60 seconds to see whether the graph of the CPU is stable or not. And here it is, it's consuming 1.8 GB, and cache is like 6.9 GB. So this is how it's going to consume, and it will be a bit lesser in the bare metal. So the system monitor you get is a 46.0. So I'm going to go with the file system. So here is the file system. I'm going to put the system monitor in the right side corner throughout the video, so you can see all the changes. So about the details, here are the other information. I'm running it on the VirtualBox. My CPU is i5 1240p. Memory is 8 GB. Disk capacity 60 GB. System details, here is windowing system X11. The kernel version you get in every Ubuntu and Ubuntu flavor. The version will be 6.8.0-41. And here is complete information. GNOME version you get is the 46, and also the 47 GNOME version RC is already released. So if you want any information, you can check it in the community page, or else you can search in the, you can do your own research if you want. So here is the other information. So let's open the internet browser, and let's go to the Edubuntu website. So there are some bug fixes in the Ubuntu 24.04.1. So if you want, you can go get all the information which I already showed in every Ubuntu and Ubuntu flavors. So I'm just going to show you how it's going to perform in the virtual machines, the latest version of the Ubuntu flavor, or the Edubuntu version 24.04.1. So as you can see, there is like a lot of lag. So other Ubuntu flavors didn't do like this, but it's having some issues. The version you get is a 129.0.2. So the latest version of Firefox stable version is 130, and also there is a beta version which is 131. If you want to get some information, you can go in the official website of Firefox and get the information there in the release notes. So let me type in about support. Hit enter. Here is some of the information. The kernel version will be right here. The theme will be here, and the other information will be right here. When you scroll it down, you should be seeing the memory size, disk space, and also about the browser information. So here you can find some browser information and also some distro information. Just scroll it down. If you want anything, you just need to pause the video and read everything on your own, because I'm not going to do all those things because it's going to make a video way lengthy. So X11, GNOME desktop environment, my other information. When you scroll it down, you should be also seeing the display resolution. So here are some additional information. So if you consider anything important, you can just pause the video. So let's go to the official website, Edubuntu. So I think this is going to support for 3 years until 2027, I guess. So if we have any release notes, I'm going to show you all those things. And about the system requirements and about the kernel, I'm going to show you. So let me type in Linux kernel. The first link will be the official website, which is kernel.org. So we are having the version. So the stable version right now is 6.10.9. The long-term versions are right here. So if you want any releases version, you can go here, and also release candidate 7 is available of 6.11. So you can check the information of the kernel version we are using right now. So here you can go with the releases and get some additional information. Let me close it. Let me show you the system requirements. Edubuntu. Here is our system requirements. So in order to run, you need to have 1 GHz or above, and memory 512 MB of RAM. So it's recommended 1 GB, but in my point of view, you need to have like a 4 GB of RAM. If you have the GNOME desktop environment, they're going to say like this, but there is no official information or the official system requirements. So let me find it. So here you can see there is no system requirements said or anything like that. People going to say you need like less resources, but in order to run the GNOME desktop environment, you can just try the Ubuntu system requirements and you should be getting the Ubuntu same as the Ubuntu. So I'm going to show you, because the desktop environment, you have the same GNOME desktop environment. So just remove like this and get the information. So it's completely from the Ubuntu official website. So you need to have like a 2 GHz dual core processor and 4 GB of RAM or more will be better. And about the storage, let me show you all those things. System requirements. So 25 GB of free hard drive, either a USB port or a DVD drive for the installer media. Internet access is helpful. So these are all the system requirements you need. Even for the Edubuntu or the Ubuntu, these are all the basic things. So it's 2024, you need to have compulsory 4 GB of RAM in order to run most of the Linux distributions. But if you already have the low-end PC, you don't need to worry about the Ubuntu. There are a lot of lightweight desktop environments or lightweight Linux distros. You can try it, all those things. So you don't need to actually get a new thing or a new PC or anything like that. Even if you have a low-end PC, there are a lot of distributions available, like lightweight Linux distributions. You can watch some tutorials, and if you want, there are like 3000 videos in my channel. You can check any of those videos, and if you're satisfied, then go with the installation. Always try it on your own whether it's going to perform nicely on your PC or not. First try it in the live boot and then go with the installation if you're satisfied. Do your own research, everything on your own instead of relying on someone. So always do your own research, because it's your PC and also it's your privacy. So always do your own research, and if you're satisfied, then go with the installation. So here is the Ubuntu requirements or the Edubuntu requirements. Let's close it. So here is some of the information of the Edubuntu. So the wallpaper is pretty much unchanged throughout the years. So these are some additional information. When I'm scrolling down, you should be seeing like a hiccups here and there. So that's the issue in the virtual machines. So it's going to perform a way better in the bare metal. So when you go with the features, here are the features of the Edubuntu. Here is the Edubuntu store if you want, like a product and all those things. Let me close it because it's not important for the video. If you want to learn more, you can go with the learn more, or else you can click on the download Edubuntu. So the version right now is 24.04.1 LTS. If you want release notes, you can just click on the release notes and it will take directly to the 24.04 LTS version information, because everything is same, just some applications are updated. So there is only change in the Ubuntu, which are some bug fixes and all those things, which I already showed in the Ubuntu video. If you want to check it out in the Ubuntu video, you can check it out. So here is some of the new features which I already made a video in the previous, which is 24.04, so you don't need to worry about anything. So here are some other things like applications, known issues, and you need to find the support also. You need to see how many years of it's going to support. Basically I think it's going to support until 2027. So here is the images may be downloaded from Edubuntu 24.04. So here it's included Raspberry Pi. So as I said, here is our supported for 3 years, which is 36 months until April 2027. So you have like a 3-year support. If you want to try it, you can try it. So it's a LTS. If you want more years, you can go with the Ubuntu, because it's going to support until 2029. So it's clearly up to you to decide whether to use these Linux distributions or not. So these are all the changes, these are all the things you get, and also you should be seeing how many years of support. So you can download the ISO file just clicking on the download Edubuntu with the 0.1 LTS, and you should be seeing the ISO file. So the code name is Noble Nubet. Here is our ISO files. So the file is around 6 GB. So about the ARM64 and Raspberry Pi, it's 4.2 GB. So here is complete information, and also when it is released, it's already available right here, which is August 8th 29. So here is, it's not 29, it's 27. Here is the ISO file. So that was the information of the Edubuntu. So it's way laggy in the virtual machines. I thought it's going to be running properly in the virtual machine, but we have some issues already. And I already mentioned that the virtual machine is going to perform a bit lesser when compared to bare metal. So I'm going to open some terminal and I'm going to type in some commands. So let me open the terminal. Let me make it bigger. And let's check the version. Here is the version. Let me type in INXI -SV8. So we need to install the INXI first. So let me copy it. Let me paste it. Click enter. So don't judge, there are like some hiccups here and there, and also there is bit of lag. Don't judge it on the virtual machines and it's going to perform like that. So there will be no there will be a way better experience when you try it on the bare metal. Let me click on Y. And also it's going to consume less resources. So right now it's consuming 1.9 GB of RAM, but in the bare metal it's going to consume like a 500 MB or 400 MB way lesser. And also CPU will also be consuming like a 5-10% lesser. And also the experience will be like a bit smoother also if you have the system requirements or recommended system requirements. So don't judge by some lag on the virtual machines, because it's pretty common in the virtual machines. So it's going to install INXI and we are going to get some information. So you get a bunch of bloatware applications. For some of the school students it's completely important applications, but for a normal user it will be a bit like a bloatwares. So if you're for the education, then go with this Linux distribution, because there are a lot of applications which are a bit important for you. And it's installed, so I'm going to type in INXI-SV8. So this command will grab complete distro information. So let me first change the preference so you can see everything properly. Let's go to the colors. Let's load the GNOME Light. So I think we got all the information. So let me scroll it up and go through all those things. So here is our command. So host, it says at Ubuntu kernel version 6.8 and 64-bit. Compiler GCC version 13.2.0. Desktop GNOME version 46. GTK version 3.24.41. GDM3 version 46.3. Distro Ubuntu 24.04.1 LTS, which is Noble Numbet. And here is the virtual machine information, which is unnecessary right now because it's not part of the video. Here is the battery. Here is our RAM 8 GB. Available is 7.7 GB. Used is 1.84 GB. Right now 2.1 GB. So here is my CPU. So if you find anything important, just pause the video and read everything, or else just skip these things. Vulnerabilities, it's not important for the video. Let's scroll it down. So about the graphics, here is the VMWGFX version 2.20, and here is the virtual display is X11. XORG version is 21.1.11 with XVLAN version is 23.2.6. And here are all the available monitor resolutions. And when you scroll it down, you should be also seeing the EGL version 1.5 and OpenGL version is 4.5. LLVM pipe version is right here. Mesa version is 24.0.9. So if I miss anything, just pause the video and read everything on your own, because I'm sitting way far from the monitor, so it's pretty much hard to read everything. ELSA version is K6. So here is the ELSA version. Piper version is 1.0.5. And here is the network information. It's clearly not important for me right now. Bluetooth information, drives, partitions, swap, unmounted, sensors, repos. It's pretty much not important right now. So here is the process 246. Uptime is almost 17 minutes. Init systemd version is 255. Shell bash version is 5.2.21. Compiler, which I already mentioned, INXI version is 3.3.34. So these are all the important information. Let me try the NeoFetch. Hit enter. So NeoFetch is not pre-installed, so I'm just going to copy the command because some of the users or some of the viewers want to see the NeoFetch also. So I'm going to cover all those things. So let's type it. So I'm just going to type in Y. Hit enter. It's going to take a few seconds and we should be good with the installation of NeoFetch. So in the desktop features, you should be seeing the same desktop, which is GNOME. So there is literally nothing. So I accidentally clicked on turned off internet connection. So here is the dark style. Here is the night light. Power mode, it's balanced. Here is the power saver. So if you like the dark theme, you can go with the dark theme. Here is my laptop charging. So I completely stopped to 80%. So it's still 80% here. Here is the screenshot. Here are some settings. So let's try to install. I already installed NeoFetch. So let me try the NeoFetch now. Hit enter. So here is the NeoFetch. Packages 2733 dpkg 11 snap. Shell bash version already mentioned. Desktop version, no resolution. Mutter, Advaita, Purple, Yaru. So here you got all the other information. Let me type in cat /etc /issue. So it says Ubuntu 24.04.1 LTS. So let me type in INXI. So these are all the same commands, just some short information. INXI-b. So you should be getting all the information from the above in just a short form. INXI-F. INXI-G. So we pretty much got all the information. If you want Hestop, you can just type in Hestop. So if you want to install, you can install Hestop also. So there is nothing pre-installed here, so you need to install everything on your own. So I'm just going to close all those things. The only thing is left right now is doing a stress test. and to see how much of resource it's going to consume, I'm going to open a bunch of applications to see how it's going to perform. So installer, which is pretty much same installer, but I'm going to show you just in a fast run through. So I'm not going to install anything here, but I'm going to just show you how the installer is. So that was the sound from the installer. So you also have the graphics for GIMP, Inkscape, so you get a lot of content creating applications, and also for the education. So they have a lot of useful applications here. So for the students, it's pretty much helpful Linux distro. For a normal user, it's pretty much has a lot of bloatware applications. So it's a different point of view for some people, so it's clearly up to you to decide whether or to not. So I'm going to just open some basic things, and I'm going to see how much of a resource it's going to consume. So we already have a lot of applications opened, so let's go with the system monitor and see how much of resource it's going to consume. So the GNOME desktop environment going to consume a lot of resources, people who already know these things. So here is our CPU, here is the RAM, 3.4 GB, cache is like a 5.7 GB. All the applications are already opened. So there is nothing left to open. When you wait for a few seconds after all the applications open, you should be seeing the stable graph running, and also the RAM will be almost 3.4 GB. So let's try to switch the applications to see if there is any lag or anything like that. So as you can see, no lag. I can switch the applications, and also there is no delay. So it's going to perform way better on the bare metal. So if you want to try it, you can try it. So do your own research, and if you want to try, you can try it. So this is how it's performing in my PC or in the virtual box. So I'm just going to show you the about information or about the application information, and I'm going to end the video because the main things are already said in the beginning, and also there is main things changed in the Ubuntu already mentioned in the Ubuntu video. So the extensions you get 46.0. If you want to customize anything, you can just go to websites or settings and you can customize according to that. And about the LibreOffice, you should be getting this version 24.2.5.2. so already said how many years it's going to support, so there is literally nothing left here. So let's check the version of the file manager. Should be 46.2. Other locations, you can go to the Ubuntu, and also if you want to change anything, if you want to customize, you can go to the properties, or you can go with the preference. So you already know how to use the GNOME desktop environment, so it will be a waste of time to show everything. So here is your preference, customize according to your wish. So here is the mail app, the browser. I already mentioned what version we have in the browser. So here is our app store. You can manage. If you want, you can check for updates. Here is the about. The version is 1.0.0. If you want to explore, if you want to search anything, you can search here. If you want to go through all the information, you can go open the application and get all the information. You can also see the screenshots, the download sites, and also the version and published date. So you pretty much got all the information here. So let's check the Inkscape version. So it was properly working without any issues. There was like a minor hiccups, and which I already mentioned, there will be some issues with the virtual boxes, because when I tried in the VMware, it has a lot of issues. So that's the reason I booted in the virtual box. So the version you get of Inkscape is 1.2.2. So you pretty much got all the information. Let me show you the installer, and I'm going to end the video. So if you know any topic of any new Linux distributions, do let me know in the comment section, because right now I don't have any topic. So try to search those Linux distribution before suggesting, because I already made like a 3000 videos. It's pretty much will be a waste of time, because we already made a lot of videos. So I already made like a 3000 videos. Try to search those Linux distributions. If I didn't make any video of that, then suggest me in the comment section. I'm going to make a video on it. So let's go where we left in the beginning. Let's click next. Again, So how would you like to install Edubuntu? Interactive installation or the automated installation? So I'm going to choose the interactive. What apps would you like to install to start with? The desktop minimalized or the Edubuntu desktop? So I'm choosing the full featured. Click next. If you want third party, you can check, or else you can uncheck it. Install recommended proprietary software. It's clearly up to you. So the two options, I'm just going to give you a short information. This option clearly erases everything in the specific installation drive, and it's going to install Edubuntu as a single boot. And this option is like you need to create a partition before choosing this option. After creating a partition, just install in the Edubuntu in that specific partition, and you should be seeing the two boot menu. In the boot menu, you should be seeing two operating systems or dual operating systems. So there is an issue with the dual booting right now after a Microsoft update. So if you want to go through all those information, try to do your research. So there is an issue in a dual boot, but if everything is going to work for you, then go with the installation. So if you don't know how to install the Linux distribution, you can go watch tutorials in the YouTube. There are a lot of videos in my channel also, but I'm not going to recommend to watch those videos because I never made a specific installation tutorial, because I'll be covering all the features and kernel and desktop backgrounds and all those things. So it's pretty much covered everything in that video. So I don't want you to waste time just for the installation. You don't need to watch a 20-25 minutes video. So that's the reason you better go watch YouTube videos of like a 2 or 3 minutes videos, which will be way shorter, and just watch the Ubuntu installation video and you should be good with the installation. So always install it on the hard drive. If you are installing it any main PC or work PC, always do a backup, or else it's going to wipe everything. So that's the reason I mentioned always don't save anything when you're installing any operating system, because it's going to erase everything if you are trying to install it as a single operating system. So always watch a tutorial if you don't know how it's going to install. When you click on next, here you need to create a partition, not a partition, you need to create a username, which is pretty much same in every Linux distribution and which is pretty much same in every operating system. So there will be nothing here. When you click next, you should be seeing a summary and date and time and all those things. So you should be seeing the basic things. So there is literally nothing complicated here. So it's pretty much easy. So I'm going to end the video here because I already posted another video. So if you want to subscribe, you can subscribe because I'll be posting 2 videos daily. So the another video is Manjaro Linux, which I already discussed in the beginning. So this is how it's going to look at the end. So these are all the process throughout the video and at the end of the video. So this is the resources: memory 2.4 GB, cache is 5.6 GB, CPU is pretty much under 40-35%. So that's how it's looking in my VMware and also the VirtualBox. So I'm going to show you the logout screen and I'm going to end the video. So on the settings, you should be getting the same GNOME 46 desktop environment. So there is literally no change here. So I'm not going to show anything here because it will be a waste of time to show. So you already know what are the changes in the GNOME 46. So that's the reason I left everything. So it was performing everything properly, so I didn't have any issues. So if you want to try it, you can try it on your own. So thanks for watching. Peace out. Let me show you the logout screen and I'm going to end the video. So it's going to take a few seconds and we should be seeing our logout screen. So in the VirtualBox, it didn't have any issues, but in the VMware, I had issues. But if you have already VMware, if you want to try it, you can try it. If it has the same issues, do let me know in the comment section. So this is our logout screen. So there is no password or anything like that. So that's the end of the video. Thanks for watching. Peace out.